Hello everyone, welcome to my Thursday forecast. So let's take a look at the euro and the US dollar. This is still heavily range bound and I'm not looking for any trades currently. As I can see, we are having a large descending into a large ascending structure and I need to see a nice impulse to the upside. So something like this, and then a continuation pattern in order to look for any trades, or an impulse pullback, another impulse, then a break and retest. Same thing to the downside, so I need to see a conviction to the downside, then a continuation pattern, or what would be even better is a push, a pullback, another push, and then break and retest trade. Also, I would be happy to take, maybe if we form a clean descending structure, impulse to the upside, look for a long trade. Or if we do form a clean ascending structure, I would also look for that one, look for an impulse down and a short trade. So definitely would consider that. But as I said, currently this is heavily range bound. And one thing that I can note is that when we are heavily range bound like this, we can usually expect some large trends, because the market is consolidating and maybe we will get some push like this one or something similar. So this may just be a pause before a nice impulse either to the upside or to the downside. So I'm definitely ready and waiting to see some moves. So the euro and the Japanese yen has now broke out of the range. As I was speaking for the past couple of days, we were heavily range bound. We had an ascending into a descending and then we were just ranging in this area. And there was a liquidity area right here. Sorry, there still is a liquidity area right here. So price just broke into the liquidity area with one candle, and this can easily retrace back into the range and continue with this sort of price action. So currently I'm not looking for any trades. What I want to see continuation to the upside. I want to see another push, then look for a flag, or a push, look for a retest of the most recent high, maybe a push, pullback, another push, look for a long trade. So this would be very high probability. We are now getting one push, pullback, another push, pullback, and a third impulse. But currently this can, as I said, just retrace back into this range area and just continue with the ranging price action. So something like this. So I need to be very, very careful. Also, so we can push to the downside and then I would look for a flag if it's a large impulse to the downside. I would like to see a nice ascending structure from here, impulse down, also look for a flag, because then I know that the market makers are taking out people's stops that are above this range. They're taking out stops, and then they're ready to push the price to the downside when we see this impulse. And then we look for a continuation pattern to continue with the trend. Also, if we do get a descending, I would probably stay out, because as I said, we are in a larger range. So this wouldn't really show me any conviction up or down. And yeah, that is what I can forecast for this pair. A little bit different than the euro and US dollar, because we did break out of the range, but it was just one candle and it left a large wick. So as I said, I expect this to just retrace back into the range and do something like this. But if we continue to the upside, I'm definitely looking for a long trade, because this may, as I said on the euro US dollar, this may just be a pause before we get a nice large move to the upside. So yeah, now let's take a look at the Aussie and the US dollar, what it has been doing. So this one, well, not showing me any conviction. This is just showing me a slowing of momentum. We had this trend to the upside, but then we broke the high retraced, broke the low retraced, had more of this ascending structure. So this is just showing me that the price is being exhausted at the top and that a reversal is very likely to happen. So if we do get a reversal, I would look for a flag pattern, or I would look for a push and then retest of the most recent low, or I would also look for a push, pullback, another push, break and retest. Definitely that would interest me also. What can happen, we can get more of this ascending structure And then same thing, I would look for a reversal and a continuation pattern. Or we can continue with this larger trend. So this was trending up until this point. This would be the top of the trend, but it doesn't have to be, we can continue. And if we do continue, I would look for some nice impulses and look for some continuation patterns to get in on a long trade. We can get a descending from here, and if it's a clean descending, I would look for an impulse up and a continuation pattern. But then it would be an ascending into descending into an ascending into another descending. So this part of price action would need to be high probability in order to for me to get in on a trade, because the prior price action would signal or is signaling a range. So yeah, also what can happen, we can get a V reversal from here and then a pattern where we get a small range, continuation of the second leg. So a continuation of this second V leg, and then look for a continuation pattern to go to the downside. And I think that is it. Yeah, that is definitely it for the Aussie and US dollar. This one, as I said, this showed me a trend before, but at the top it is showing me a slowdown of momentum and is maybe forming a pattern where the trend has ended and we are just going to range. So that is a possibility that we just continue with the range. And now for the last pair, so the Aussie and the Japanese yen. This one is actually looking good. This one has some potential. So we are also seeing this uptrend, and as we know, the Aussie pairs trend correctively. So this is what the trend usually looks like. The pullbacks are deep and the impulses don't really break the high by a lot. But that is just a characteristic of the pair. So at the top, we now currently have this impulse to the upside, and then we left double wicks at the top. So I am seeing this price trending to the upside, but now I need to see maybe a small flag, then I would look for a trade. But I don't want to see a straight reversal to the downside as we are now getting, so this is definitely no trade for me because of these double wicks. So I know also when we get an aggressive retrace on the Japanese pairs, such as this one, it usually tends to just reverse. So if we do reverse, I would look for a flag to the downside, or I would look for a push, pullback, another push, break and retest. I would also look for a descending structure, look for an impulse to the upside, then a trade. But this also doesn't have to break the low, we can just stay ranging here, or we can just start to form this ascending structure. Then I will look for an impulse to the downside and a short trade. Or what we can get another push and then something like this. I would definitely look for a long trade or more of a push and a flag. So then this trend would continue, we would have a impulse, pullback, continuation, and then look for a flag or something like that. Or what would be the highest probability is a push, pullback, another push, and then look for a break and a retest. So retest of the most recent high, or as we call it, the bullet trade. So yeah, that is it what I'm looking for. Currently this one is the best out of all the four pairs. It is showing me a trend to the upside, and this is a nice impulse, but I don't like this pullback. So this candle is still live, it still hasn't formed, but I don't really like this aggressive pullback, especially because we got double wicks. So I'm being very alert, I'm looking at the warning signs, and I'm seeing how the price will play out in the next couple of hours. So yeah, that is it for the forecast. The Aussie yen is looking the best, and I will see you in the next one.